The Giannis saga in Milwaukee has reached its crescendo, a sour note after weeks of simmering discontent. Whispers of fractured chemistry and accusations of individualistic play have seemingly pushed the two-time MVP to the precipice. Could Giannis Antetokounmpo truly land in New York, partnering with Jalen Brunson? That tantalizing what-if scenario suddenly feels alarmingly close, potentially just days from materializing. The Bucks unraveling? 2025-26 looms as a potential doomsday for the Milwaukee franchise. 18-25. That's the ledger for Milwaukee, a grim epitaph for a team designed to orbit Giannis. A sub-.500 slog through the East hardly befits a kingdom forged around a two-time MVP. Since the calendar flipped, they've been winless in the new year, a 5-game freefall as the trade winds howl. Losses haven't been mere setbacks. They've been shellackings, effort optional, the sanctity of home court defiled. The very sinew that held the Bucks together, the suffocating D, the relentless grind, the aftertaste of a title, has frayed and snapped. The Bucks, as they stand, are adrift, their win percentage barely registering on the playoff radar. The Giannis question mark looms large. His most recent setback, a non-contact calf strain, hangs heavy, with the Bucks offering no definitive return date. Antetokounmpo himself hazarded a 4 to 6 week guess after the MRI, but Rivers and the training staff are playing it close to the vest, offering only cautious silence. The ghost of December past, when Giannis vanished for 8 games nursing a familiar right calf strain, haunts Milwaukee. Add to that the specter of the 2024 playoffs, darkened by a left calf injury, and a troubling pattern emerges. Such recurring woes raise a thorny question. How enduring can a force of nature be when his very game, predicated on blistering speed, raw power, and relentless drives, becomes his own potential undoing? Subtract Giannis, and the Bucks' offense stumbles, plummeting to a dismal 106.0, a number that shames the league's elite. Beyond Giannis, the Bucks resemble a ship lost at sea, unable to generate offense or muster defensive resistance. The scoreboard screams this truth, a bleak win-loss tally underscoring their helplessness when he's sidelined. But the rot goes deeper than mere numbers. The team's very soul seems infected. After their record dipped to a depressing 18-25, Giannis himself lamented, "We're just not meshing. Everyone's playing for themselves, hunting highlight reels instead of hunting wins together." After that humiliating defeat, what he said resonated. They asked how to fix this mess. More shots? More touches for him? Nah, he ain't the screamer, the ball hog, the one gonna tear the team down demanding the rock. That's not his game. Giannis, ever the diplomat despite the turmoil, hints at a disconnect. Teammates, perhaps through youth or misplaced assumptions, failing to fully grasp the tidal force of his game, his ability to conjure opportunities for all. Yet, this very friction, coupled with the Bucks' floundering record, Giannis's nagging injuries, and a chorus of discontent, has planted the seeds of doubt. The February 5th, 2026 deadline looms, a pressure cooker. While the superstar maintains he'd never strong-arm his way out, whispers from reliable corners suggest a growing readiness to seek solace, and perhaps championship glory, elsewhere. Milwaukee, once a bastion of NBA stability, is now fielding calls, the bolder, the better. Former All-Stars, promising rookies, future draft picks, all are potentially on the table. The Bucks' aura of championship certainty has evaporated with alarming speed. What began as typical mid-season turbulence has morphed into a full-blown identity crisis, casting a long shadow over the franchise's direction and, crucially, Giannis's long-term commitment. 3 straight playoff flameouts before the season's free fall laid the groundwork, each defeat eroding the foundation of belief. The grand plan, intended to keep Milwaukee atop the mountain, instead triggered an avalanche. December and January served as harsh reminders, revealing cracks in the foundation as wins proved elusive against both the league's giants and its also-rans. John Horst, once lauded as the architect of a championship dynasty, now finds himself in the crosshairs, accused of chasing shadows instead of forging a path. Past gambles, trades, signings, the very architecture of the roster, have bled the Bucks dry, leaving them gasping for air. This is the reckoning, a confluence of on-court failures, Giannis's fragility, discontent simmering in the locker room, and the front office's faltering hand. The whispers have grown louder, now a chorus hinting at the unthinkable. Giannis might actually leave. Milwaukee's front office is under the microscope, their missteps and roster limitations fueling the fire. Though Giannis keeps his complaints subtle, focusing on teamwork and effort when the cameras roll, behind the scenes, whispers suggest a growing unease linked to the team's construction. At the heart of the discontent, that fateful decision regarding Damian Lillard's contract back in July 25, a move that continues to sting. First came Turner, a 4-year, $107 million gamble of cap space. This followed the Lillard coup, a Portland raid orchestrated in 23, intended to fuse elite guard play with Giannis's paint mastery. But whispers now paint the Lillard dismissal as a frantic, last-ditch heave to save the Giannis experiment after the pairing sputtered. One NBA suit called it an outright confession. The Lillard deal, a catastrophe. Giannis, we're told, got the Turner heads up. But word from within suggests the Lillard exit left a sour taste. Another symptom of Milwaukee's wobbly foundation and haphazard strategy. Milwaukee's roster, already stretched thin by prior maneuvers, felt the further sting of trading playmaking for pure muscle in the paint. Yet, the addition of Turner did little to propel the Bucks into the NBA's upper echelon. The ghost of the Lillard trade still haunted the Fiserv Forum. The price of entry, fan favorite Drew Holiday, proved steep. Milwaukee traded a tenacious two-way wing, a playoff-tested warrior, for a veteran guard whose defensive shortcomings were magnified under the bright lights of the postseason. The Lillard gamble, from its initial spark to its fizzled end, barely spanned 2 campaigns. Those years were a playoff nightmare. 3 straight first-round eliminations haunting the Bucks. The Lillard experiment, meant to unlock new levels, instead sputtered, a clunky machine rather than a symphony. The defense leaked, and the offense became a tug-of-war between Dame's ball-dominant style and Giannis's ferocious paint game. By the summer of 25, the front office stood at a crossroads. Double down on Lillard, committing to years more, or gamble on a different co-star. A roll of the dice with the franchise's future hanging in the balance. Milwaukee, in their wisdom, or lack thereof, opted for Turner, seduced by the phantom promise of rim protection and defensive flexibility. The idea: lock down the paint around Giannis and bandage the gaping wound in their defense. In reality, it only festered the underlying issues. Now, the Bucks' asset vault is practically bare, stripped clean by a series of ill-conceived trades that squandered draft picks and shackled their future. Their cupboard is bare, reduced to a few heavily protected picks, often swaps or the crumbs from New Orleans in 26, rendering them incapable of landing impactful talent without mortgaging their already fragile present. And the financial vice grips tighter with each passing misstep, compounding their asset famine. Milwaukee's already cramped financial straits, apron limits, little wiggle room, the siren call of free agency, are about to get tighter. Giannis, poised to make a supermax starting October 26, lights a fire under roster reconstruction. Rebuild around the Greek freak, or contemplate the unthinkable? The current support structure screams constraints. Outside Giannis and Turner, the difference makers are ghosts. The hired guns, meant to patch holes, have largely misfired. Milwaukee's second unit? Let's just say the scoring well runs dry. Dive into the depth chart, and you'll find a talent chasm wide enough to swallow the entire Deer District. The numbers don't lie. Without Giannis on the court, the offense craters, sputtering to a measly 106.0 rating, a level of ineptitude usually reserved for lottery-bound squads. This exposes a glaring weakness in the roster blueprint. Championship. Contenders boast a platoon of playmakers and defensive stalwarts, players who can shoulder the load when a superstar rests. Milwaukee, unfortunately, doesn't have that luxury. The Bucks, alas, have built a house of cards, not brick. Milwaukee went all in, throwing chips at Lillard, Turner, Holiday before him. Chasing a title, yes, but gutting the foundation beneath their feet. Each splashy deal, a Faustian bargain. Short-term sparkle for long-term flexibility. And now, the bill is due. Insiders whisper of Giannis's simmering discontent, a stew of chronic defeats, playoff heartbreaks, and a widening chasm between the Bucks and the league's true titans. The air crackles with talk of his future, casting a long, uneasy shadow over both the locker room and the executive suites. Shams Charania of ESPN whispers that Giannis, initially patient with the revamped Bucks, has soured on the experiment as losses piled up. The grumbling hints at a larger discontent. Has Milwaukee truly built a contender around him? The Turner acquisition, once a beacon of hope, now feels like a distant memory amidst a losing season. Looking ahead to 2025-26, the picture only darkens. With a subpar record and a disastrous showing whenever Giannis's calf sidelines him, GM Horst's master plan is under the microscope. While tinkering before the February 5th deadline remains an option, Milwaukee's cupboard is bare, limiting any real chance of a game-changing move. Milwaukee teeters on a precipice. Summer must bring either a radical reconstruction or a reluctant farewell, a hard reset. Do they double down on Giannis with threadbare tools, or cash in his supreme value while he still reigns among the elite? This agonizing choice encapsulates Milwaukee's present unease. The Lillard gamble, the Turner acquisition, the drained draft coffers, the skeletal support system, all are monuments to mismanaged ambition. Well-intentioned attempts to prolong the championship window instead slammed it shut. The front office, chasing stars with reactive desperation, trading future flexibility for fleeting glory, has maneuvered the Bucks into this precarious bind. Giannis, the pride of Milwaukee, etched his name in Bucks history with a supermax signature in 2020, a testament to his faith. The 2021 title? Pure Wisconsin ferited. Yet, even the deepest devotion phrase under the persistent rub of questionable choices. A steady diet of questionable calls and underwhelming outcomes has brewed a potent cocktail. one that threatens to erode even Giannis's unwavering bond with the Cream City. Milwaukee's front office missteps have fueled trade whispers into roaring possibilities as the deadline looms. The Giannis sweepstakes are officially on, with the Bucks floundering and whispers of Giannis's wandering eye growing louder. A frenzy is erupting ahead of the February 5th, 2026 trade deadline. Teams are lining up for a shot at the Greek Freak, his age and nagging injuries be damned. A generational talent like that doesn't hit the market every day. Giannis, now past his athletic zenith at 31 and burdened by a worrying history of soft tissue troubles. This latest calf strain sidelining him for a month, maybe more, isn't the raw, untamed force of his early years. Still, when he's on the court, he's a titan. The numbers sing. Ruthless efficiency, a rebounding machine, a playmaker of rare vision, and the keystone of a stifling defense. Teams crave the undeniable, a championship already etched on his resume. 2 MVP trophies gleaming, the power to, alone, hoist a team into true contention. Age and creaking joints, granted, are the elephant in the room. His game, built on breathtaking athleticism, is now stalked by the specter of recurring calf problems, haunting him this season and raising uncomfortable questions. Whispers persist of Giannis's undiminished reign. He's still Everest, insiders say, with years of peak performance ahead. That two-way titan scoring with ruthless efficiency. Rivals gamble that clever deployment and strategic rest can tame the injury. Demons, the king's ransom for his services? Astronomical. Contenders, desperate for instant glory, would gladly mortgage their future for his present. Milwaukee, facing the abyss, craves youth. A stockpile of picks, salary ballast, and above all, blue-chip prospects to jumpstart the rubble into something new. The future, bought and paid for with the wreckage of today. Miami, always lurking in the shadows of contender conversations, emerges as the frontrunner in the Giannis sweepstakes, whispers suggesting an almost unsettling confidence emanating from South Beach. Pat Riley's Heat have a war chest. The tantalizing potential of Tyler Herro, the burgeoning promise of Jamie Jaquez Jr. and Kayla Martin, and a future draft pick haul, 2030, 2032, swaps, shimmering like fool's gold. Critically, they possess the cap space to swallow Antetokounmpo's supermax without gutting the entire roster. The allure lies in the pairing of Giannis and Bam Adebayo, a defensive nightmare for opposing offenses, cemented by Riley's legacy of luring superstars and the Heat's ingrained, gritty ethos mirroring Giannis's own. Miami's defensive framework could even prolong his dominance, minimizing individual strain while amplifying winning plays. Miami isn't just waving shiny draft picks, they're selling sustained excellence. They build contenders from spare parts, crafting diamonds from late-round coal and shrewd deals. The Heat's mantra, discipline, grit, sheer bloody-mindedness, that's the allure. It could be the perfect crucible for Giannis to temper his game, to manage his body through the long haul. New York, on the other hand, whispers promises of a brighter spotlight, likely to come at him with everything they've got. Their war chest is a bit light, just one protected pick way down the line and some swap options. But names like Towns, Anunoby, or Bridges could become the cornerstones of a Knicks package. The allure of Giannis alongside Jalen Brunson in the Big Apple, pure offensive fire and marquee magnetism. But the Knicks war chest is looking a little light. Draft picks are scarce, victims of past gambles and the dreaded Stepien rule. To pry Giannis from Milwaukee's grasp would mean sacrificing crucial pieces. While Towns brings much-needed floor spacing and boards, his departure guts their front court depth. Anunoby and Bridges? Those two-way wings are shimmering jewels, assets that every team covets, making them painful to relinquish in the pursuit of a Greek god. Trading the farm for Giannis could leave the Knicks dangerously shallow, a champion reduced to a contender by subtraction. They'd be walking a tightrope, balancing the allure of a superstar with a need for a supporting cast capable of a deep playoff run. Yet, the Big Apple still beckons. The bright lights, Brunson's steady hand at the helm, and Thibodeau's newfound stability are a siren song. And Giannis favoring the Knicks? That's a trump card, potentially forcing Milwaukee's hand to settle for less, a parting gift for a loyal son. Meanwhile, out west, the Warriors lurk, stockpiling draft picks like golden doubloons, ready to offer a treasure trove of future assets and burgeoning talents like Jonathan Cummings. Golden State, shackled by salary constraints and a sentimental attachment to their aging core, throws a curious glance towards Milwaukee. Young Cummings holds promise, yes, but the Bucks, facing a potential Giannis exodus, demand immediate, proven value. The Warriors' interest is a siren song of urgency. Curry's clock is ticking. Imagine Giannis, a Grecian god, alongside Curry, the master architect, a front court of unprecedented potency, Curry's gravity-warping defenses, opening avenues for Giannis's thunderous drives. While Giannis shores up Golden State's porous defense at the rim, concerns linger, spacing, the sharing of the basketball. Still, the sheer force of that union compels exploration, a gamble the Warriors, facing their own twilight, might be willing to take. Whispers also mention San Antonio, envisioning Antetokounmpo alongside Wembanyama. in a front court for the ages. Houston, with their burgeoning talents like Amen Thompson, and Detroit, dangling picks and youthful promise, flicker as possibilities, though dimmed by either thin asset pools, mismatched timelines, or Giannis's burning desire for immediate championship contention. Instead, the Miami Heat blaze brightest, the name most often on league lips. Sources whisper they hold the pole position. Their blend of cap flexibility, intriguing young players, future draft capital, and a reputation for winning creating the most appealing package. For a Bucks team unwilling to face total demolition, New York, too, throws their hat in the ring, a tantalizing fit. Imagine Giannis Antetokounmpo, a Greek god in orange and blue. Pair him with Jalen Brunson in the Big Apple. The Knicks, currently a respectable third in the East with a shiny new NBA Cup, already possess a swaggering offense. But picture Giannis, a walking, breathing double-double machine, 28 points, 10 boards, 5.6 assists, all on a sizzling 64.5%. He's the defensive anchor, the unrelenting force that transforms contender into unstoppable. Brunson's wizardry, amplified by Giannis's gravity in the pick and roll, would unleash basketball Armageddon on the rest of the league. We're talking headline-grabbing, legacy-defining stuff. Imagine Brunson, a maestro of the drive, scoring 28 a night, sucking defenders in like a black hole. Suddenly, Giannis arrives in Gotham. Picture the paint opening, highways for his drives, while shooters like Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby, or whoever else they pry loose, feast on Brunson's kickouts. Boom! Knicks offense, already humming at a third best in the league 119.9 rating, detonates into a near unstoppable inferno, vying for the top spot. And Brunson? He's no slouch off-ball either, a deadly catch-and-shoot option, complementing Giannis's drive and kick artistry. Every possession, a kaleidoscope of attacking possibilities. Forget poetry, think pick-and-roll pandemonium. Brunson and Giannis? That's destruction, pure and simple. Imagine Brunson and Giannis in the Big Apple. Brunson, a maestro of tempo, keeps defenders dancing to his tune. Then comes Giannis, a human wrecking ball crashing to the hoop, making defenses pay for a moment's slumber. Dare to double Giannis's rim runs? Brunson's mid-range artistry and feathery floaters become weapons of mass distraction. Cheat towards Brunson? Giannis, unleashed in open court, becomes an unstoppable force of nature. And beyond this dynamic duo, picture this. Anunoby and Bridges, raining fire from beyond the arc, feasting on wide-open looks as defenses crumble, obsessed with containing the Giannis-Brunson inferno. Imagine Giannis in Gotham. Hearts hustle, the constant battery of offensive boards becomes a relentless second-wave attack. Robinson, a skyscraper of a man, sprints the lane, a perfect alley-oop partner for Giannis dancing on the arc forget half-court sets. Picture a blur. Giannis, seizing a board, explodes upcourt, a one-man fast break amplified by New York's already potent transition game. Brunson, the calm eye in the storm, spots Giannis thundering down the floor. Easy money, effortless buckets before the opposition even knows what hit them. Imagine Giannis in the Garden. Suddenly, the Knicks wouldn't just be grinding in the half-court. They'd be a blur in transition, a nightmare for defenses no matter the tempo. And the defense? Forget the middling 115.4 rating that leaks points against quality teams. You're talking about a seismic shift. Giannis, with his all-world defense, would be the immovable object in the paint, scaring away drivers and sending shots skyward. An instant, undeniable upgrade. Imagine Giannis patrolling the paint for the Knicks, a shot-swatting maestro, erasing errors with effortless grace. His mere presence unlocks a defensive renaissance. Picture Anunoby and Bridges, now emboldened, hounds nipping at ball handlers, knowing the Greek freak lurks as a safety net. Switching becomes an art form, a defensive ballet where Giannis, a chameleon guarding all five positions, morphs New York into a fortress, flexible and formidable. Imagine the Knicks suddenly steelier. Giannis, let's say he lands there, transforms their pick-and-roll defense overnight. He's a rim protector when needed, a ball-hawking nightmare when he's not. Then picture this. Giannis flanked by OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges. Suddenly, New York's got one of the NBA's most suffocating front lines. Anunoby's a brute, locking down everything from nimble wings to bruising forwards. Bridges? A pickpocket, with wings slicing through passing lanes. This trio, working in concert, could catapult the Knicks into the league's defensive elite, masking the cracks in their current foundation. And with Mitchell Robinson lurking, ready to swat away anything that gets through, Coach Thibs could get really creative with his rotations. With Giannis on the bench, Robinson anchors the paint. Imagine them together, a towering duo, suffocating opponents on the boards and locking down the interior against even the most formidable centers. Rebounds skyrocket, second-chance opportunities vanish for the opposition, igniting fast breaks. Trade simulations are already proclaiming the Knicks victors, handing out grades for proposals that instantly vault them into Eastern Conference supremacy, a legitimate title contender. One intricate three-team scenario envisions New York snagging Giannis alongside Grant, while Minnesota receives Towns, Bridges, and a cache of draft picks. The Knicks' hypothetical offer? A king's ransom mortgaging the future for a shot at immortality. Towns, a stretch-four dream and rebounding beast, comes with defensive baggage, a playoff liability at times. Shedding bridges stings the perimeter D, but Giannis patrols the paint like a mythical guardian. The scant draft picks, whispers of future flexibility, vanish in the pursuit of now. Make no mistake, the price is astronomical, unavoidable. Stuck in draft pick purgatory thanks to past sins and the dreaded Stepien rule. Matching Giannis's gargantuan $54 million salary demands a painful sacrifice, a gutting of the very core. The apron strings are tight, Milwaukee's fiscal leash pulling hard near those dreaded tax thresholds, knotting up any easy salary swaps. Gutting the roster, shipping out Towns, Bridges, and even OG Anunoby would bleed the team dry, especially during the long slog of the regular season. The bench would then be a nursery, filled with kids and cast-offs scrapping for minutes. Expect early turbulence as the reconfigured roster tries to find its rhythm. And in New York, a steep learning curve awaits, trying to weave Giannis into the Knicks' fabric without unraveling their defensive integrity. Whispers abound, fretting over the clash of titans. Can Giannis and Brunson, both maestros conducting the offensive orchestra, truly harmonize? Doubters envision a symphony of discord, two alpha dogs fighting for the bone of possession. But the smart money favors a beautiful duet. Brunson, a chameleon adapting to Luka's shadow in Dallas, possesses the off-ball guile and deadly catch-and-shoot prowess to flourish as a second violin. Giannis, while a battering ram best unleashed with the ball, has displayed a willingness to defer when surrounded by trusted virtuosos. The stage is set for synergy, not strife. If Thibs got his mitts on them, the play calling would sing with synergy. One of Brunson or Giannis would always be out there, no resting on laurels, just constant offensive pressure. And when they did share the court, forget about it. Brunson running point, weaving through screens, then bang, Giannis backing down, bulldozing to the rim. It'd be a defensive nightmare, a nonstop carousel of rotations, leaving opponents gasping for air. Bottom line, the Knicks would be a whole different animal, a better animal. Imagine this, Giannis in Gotham. The Knicks, already a force in the East, would detonate into a championship supernova. Their offense? Forget about it. Stratospheric, maybe even eclipsing the Celtics for number one. Defense? A steel curtain, Giannis policing the paint like a Greek god protecting Olympus. Suddenly, New York isn't just a contender. They're the team everyone fears, neck and neck with Boston for the crown. Brunson and Giannis? That's not just a pairing. It's a power couple, a symphony of skill where Brunson orchestrates the perimeter and Giannis commands the interior. League-wide, good luck finding a better duo. The Knicks, overnight, become the team to beat. Sure, here's the rewritten fragment. Depth? A fleeting concern, cast aside by the sheer gravitational pull of talent. Title contenders are forged in the crucible of stardom, where playoff lights shrink rotations and singular brilliance cuts through the noise. Picture the Knicks then, a twin supernova, two genuine forces capable of bending any defense to their will. Time, too, is on their side, a symphony in perfect harmony. Brunson, now 28, stands on the precipice of his peak. Giannis, even at 31, still boasts a championship-caliber prime. Any team acquiring him would instantly become a contender, with a window of contention stretching across at least 3, maybe 4 seasons. The real question is, how do you pull it off? The salary cap, the apron rules, the Bucks' depleted war chest. A mid-season blockbuster seems like a pipe dream. However, the off-season presents a glimmer of hope. Contract can be shuffled, sign-in trades orchestrated, and even multi-team deals engineered, if everyone's objectives line up, and if Milwaukee's willing to entertain the unthinkable. Summer offers the flexibility a winter trade simply can't. So Giannis in Gotham? A Knicks makeover for the ages. Suddenly, they're not just tough, they're terrifying, a title threat forged in the fires of Giannis's intensity and Brunson's guile. Offense explodes, defense tightens, the star wattage blinds. But trade like that? It's a surgical removal of half the roster, leaving the bench looking a little thin. Now for the cold water. All this speculation? Remember the loyalty factor. Giannis bled green and cream. He turned down brighter lights elsewhere. He brought a championship home. That kind of commitment, it's more than just ink on a contract. It's history, legacy, and a bond that's tough to break. The drumbeat of no trade request has always echoed Giannis's dedication to Milwaukee. He remembers, and often recounts, the city's gamble on a raw, gangly kid. Milwaukee nurtured him, became the bedrock for his family. This history adds a thick layer of emotional weight to any thought of leaving, a counterpoint to the cold calculation of championship odds. Despite the noise, rival teams are quietly sketching out trade scenarios, wargaming hypotheticals around a Giannis-sized hole in the Bucks roster. The Bucks are fielding calls, weighing the landscape, but Giannis hasn't dropped the trade ball. This buys Milwaukee time, a shield against panic, letting them dictate the terms or hope for a miracle turnaround. February 5th is the reckoning. No deal by then, and the drama bleeds into the summer, when a whole new cast of suitors, armed with cap space, join the chase. Summer 26? That's when things get truly wild. Elaborate three-way deals, sign-in trades galore, and the Bucks forced to confront their very identity. Oh, and Giannis is eligible for a supermax that October. Tick-tock. The clock is ticking louder now for the Bucks. Giannis's choice on an extension becomes the focal point. A no boosts his trade value to a fever pitch before the deadline, offering potential suitors a tantalizing shot at a long-term commitment. A yes slams the door shut on trade rumors, signaling his renewed faith in Milwaukee. The Bucks now face a brutal self-assessment. Can this current squad evolve into a championship contender worthy of Giannis's prime? The offseason could become a whirlwind of front office reshuffles, coaching tweaks, or even a complete roster revamp, all aimed at proving to Giannis that Milwaukee remains hellbent on winning it all. Giannis finds himself at a crossroads, a tug-of-war between heart and ambition. He could remain a Milwaukee icon, a hometown hero, yet watch his peak years fade on a team struggling to rise. Or he could chase rings elsewhere, sacrificing his painstakingly crafted reputation as the Bucks' unwavering anchor. Meanwhile, in the Big Apple, the Knicks are wrestling with their own demons. A promising season at 28-18 whispers of contention, making them wary of dismantling a cohesive unit for the gamble of acquiring a generational talent, however tempting. The Knicks gamble. Chasing Giannis means risking it all. The allure of adding a player of his caliber is undeniable. But is it worth gutting a team that's already proven it can contend? The price tag for Giannis would be astronomical. Think Towns, Bridges, a king's ransom of draft picks. Stripping the roster bare leaves gaping holes. Wounds even Giannis's brilliance might not instantly heal. The established chemistry, the hard-won continuity, all that goes out the window. Tebetto's meticulously crafted system, built on defensive grit and team cohesion, faces a seismic shock. Integrating Giannis mid-season throws everything into chaos, demanding an instant overhaul of rotations and playbooks. A tantalizing prospect, but a perilous one. Integrating Giannis mid-season risks precious wins as they chase a title, the very reason for the upheaval. An off-season move offers smoother assimilation, a chance of the team to gel. Yet, no matter when, the Knicks face a brutal truth. Securing Giannis demands a king's ransom in players. They must weigh the allure of his brilliance against the gaping holes his arrival will leave. A dilemma echoed by every team dreaming of his signature. Miami, with their allure and considerable war chest, are undoubtedly at the Giannis table. But landing him would mean gutting their burgeoning future. Those promising young talents and draft picks forming the bedrock of the Heat's next chapter. Minnesota's vision, pairing Giannis with Edwards, is tantalizing, yet hampered by a thin asset pool and salary cap gymnastics. That Milwaukee's even listening to offers suggests a cold, calculating realism, not an eagerness to blow things up. Every GM worth their salt takes the temperature on their superstars, especially when uncertainty looms. Listening is free, intelligence is priceless, and it hedges their bets. But listening isn't deal-making. Milwaukee's heart still beats for a Giannis-led dynasty, even if their head is acknowledging reality. Milwaukee knows Giannis is more than just points and rebounds. He's the brand, the buzz, the Bucks swagger. Dealing him away screams rebuild, a word ownership shudders to utter. For Knicks faithful, this Antetokounmpo whisper is a siren song mixed with a warning klaxon. Giannis and Brunson? A title dream. But the path there, the mountains of assets sacrificed, the salary cap gymnastics, Milwaukee's iron grip, makes the vision more fantasy than fact. Hope, therefore, must be leashed to reality. The next few weeks are the crucible where this buzz either melts into fact or cools back into rumor. Right now, it's a pure distillation of the NBA's eternal push and pull. Loyalty versus the siren song of a title, calculated front office blueprints crashing against the athlete's burning desire. It's a blurry snapshot of potential futures struggling to resolve into a single, clear now. And that's all for this deep dive. Click those cards for more takes like this.